Welcome to The Writer Reads Dinner and a Show, a science fiction short story. This is part 5 of 6. I began in protest. Tens arched an eyebrow and looked around. You what? You can explain? He asked, because I'd love to see the explanation for all this. And Rohan had to have his say as well. Boy, when you said you needed my help, Rohan added, I didn't think you'd have such a hissy fit when I didn't turn up. If I could have blushed in here, I would have. Right now, I'd have bet my physical form was going as red as last night's sunset. Wasn't me, I told them, then hurried on before either of them could ask me exactly who else it could have been. We need to. I stopped and was dropped back into my body as the entire shuttle shook. It was Tens who pulled me back into the system. We need to, he reminded me, and all the humour had gone from his face. I checked the data coming in on the comms and sensor systems and couldn't help a sudden sigh of relief. They're not shooting us down. That fact alone nearly froze me. Some of the pressure was gone. I didn't have to pilot this thing and I wasn't going to have to land it. And we weren't going to end up in multiple pieces which Doc couldn't put back together. And, Tens prodded, and we need to not be in here when it lands, I concluded. Care to tell me why? Delight broke in as she and Mack arrived in the ruination of the piloting systems. Mack looked around and gave a soft whistle. Wasn't me, I snapped and turned to Delight. Because the Mercs wouldn't have given up their payday so easily, and because we're still alive. So? Tens asked, but I'd checked what was happening. Celeste's tractoring us in, I told them, focusing on the comms guy. Can you get into the shady systems from here? Yeah, but because I need you to be ready to teleport us out when I get the blocker down, I told him, as one of the packages Kaz was pissing on erupted into a series of thorny tentacles. Do you know what having my body shifting while my head's not in it is going to do? Tens asked, and I shook my head. Delight laid a virtual hand on his shoulder. I do, she told him, as serious as I'd ever seen her. I'll have an Odyssey team on standby. And if that wasn't serious enough, she glanced at Mack. With your permission. He looked at Tens. It's your head. I wondered what I was missing as Tens clenched his jaw and swallowed hard. It's all our heads, he replied, and his presence vanished from in front of me. Mack almost vanished with him, but Delight made a singular twisting motion with her hand and he rematerialized. The Shady's going to need her captain, she stated, cutting his protest short. And Odyssey must compensate you for its failure. We'll see him through it, but we need those blockers down fast, and it's going to be a two-man job. That's what Rowan's for, Mack told her. Delight indicated a second package coming to life. And it's going to take you, me, and the dog to see they get the space they need to get it done. Mack didn't answer her, but glanced at me. Get the blocker down, he ordered. Delight and I will hold them. Cascade lunged at a tentacle striking toward him, grabbing it with jaws suddenly alive with flame. The tentacle disintegrated, but there were more. The entire chamber shimmered with movement. So, Rowan asked, his voice cracking with tension and adolescence, where did you say this blocker was located? I hadn't, but Delight was ahead of me, dropping a schematic into our heads and highlighting 2 points on it. There, she said, and glanced at Mack. I'm with Cutter. You've got the boy Wonder and his magical pet. Hey, Rowan protested, but one of the relevant points flashed. We need to be there, she told the boy. If I get there before you, you'll be the one taking on the monsters. Sounds fine by me, Rowan retorted, and Mack shot him an angry look. Go, he ordered. Rowan gave him a filthy look back, but he went, vanishing down a connection he pulled from the database. Race you! He'd what? Delight's chuckle as she followed him had a taunting quality. We'll come help you when we're done. Like hell, Max snarled, grabbing me by the metaphorical collar and pulling me down another connection as Delight disappeared. The tendrils followed, as did several something else's. If I hadn't been aware of the source of Exarch's contract, I might have wondered where they'd found the coding. I slapped a coat of protective code over myself and another one over Mac. It wasn't like I had to focus on moving, so I might as well do something useful while he got us to where we needed to be. I just sent a burst of fire into a predatory bit of codework that had way too many legs and fangs when Max stopped. Before I could ask why, he switched places with me and hauled two coated blades from somewhere in his virtual suit. Armor grew over his body and he let me go. Make it fast, he told me, and I thought he was going to add he didn't know how long he could hold them. But instead he added, I don't want the little rat beating us. Personally, I thought it was more the idea of Delight coming to our rescue, but there was no way in all the world I was going to say it. I turned to the blocker and got to work. Given the amount of hostile code coming at my back, it was surprising to find nothing coming at me from inside the blocking program itself. It's Exarch, Mack explained, setting one blade alight and leaving the other as a glittering shadow. The first program to come at him died with a scream that jolted right through me. What's that got to do with anything? I asked. Their idea of subtle would make a sledgehammer proud. Oh. I got to work, hoping to the stars and back he was right, because taking this thing apart was hard enough as it was, without a part of it coming alive and trying to eat me. I finished and turned to Mac. You done? He asked, and I nodded.